Assalamualaikum. My name is Mahirah binti Osman. So today me and my friends will do the video presentation for our industrial training at Malaysian Koko Bot Tawau. Malaysian Koko Bot MCB is a federal research and development agency under the Ministry of Plantation Industry and Commodities. It was established under the Act of Parliament 343 incorporated in 1988 and has been in operation since 1989. The main objective is to develop the cocoa industry in Malaysia to be integrated and competitive in the global market. Emphasis is given to increasing productivity and efficiency in cocoa bean production and downstream activities. Next, the vision of Malaysian Cocoa Board. First, the vision is a two-world renowned, reputable and leading institution for sustainable development of the cocoa industry. The mission is to ensure that integrated and competitive growth of the cocoa industry through the innovative development. Motto: Malaysian cocoa, naturally nutritious, deliciously healthy. Next, the objective. First is to increase the production of cocoa beans through increasing of productivity. Second is to ensure the cocoa production is in harmony with the nature. And the last one is to prepare the infrastructure and support for the industry expansion. For the function, there are several functions of the Malaysian Cocoa Board MCB, including to conduct and to promote research on production, processing, storage, and consumption of the cocoa. Next, to conduct and coordinate activities and policies on research about the cocoa clones, breeding, and the disease. Next, to collect and disseminate information about the cocoa breeding, cloning, and pest control.
Good evening. I am Fazira Fitri binti Muhammad Asnan. I will start my presentation with our tasks that were assigned to us. During our first week of practical training, we were asked to do book revision. These two books is the book that we revised throughout the weeks, which is first is Perintah-Perintah dan Arahan Pentadbiran. This book contains the common rules in the government. It is based on the international law-based rules. We were given about 3 days to do revision about the book, and each of us were given subtopics for us to present on the Friday, the end of the first week. For example, we do presentations about the allowance. The next book that we do revision is the Tonggak 12 book. This book contains about integrity in works. So we were asked to remember all of the 12 Tonggak. Next, on our second weeks, we were moved to the entomology 1 unit. On our first day, we were given briefing about the rice moth. Rice moth is a biological control agent for cocoa pod borer, cocoa main pest. So our first activity in the entomology 1 unit is rice moth breeding. We will first teach on how to prepare the medium for the breeding. So first, the materials are corns, rice, milks, and the laying frame eggs. So first, we take 1 kilogram of corn and 1 kilogram of rice mixed together with 50 grams of milk powder. And after mix, make sure the weight of these 3 ingredients is 2.5 kilogram. And then put into the pile and mix it together. When it becomes mixed, add the eggs of the C. cephalonica, and then lastly put the ingredients and the eggs into the laying frame, and then put into the breeding room. Next, after 45 days of breedings, we can collect the eggs of the C. cephalanica. So first, the laying frames are put into the mold collector stand, and then by using the hair dryer, we will blow the adult mold, and then when it goes inside the plastic bags under the stand, it will be removed to the other frames, and then the eggs that left on the frames will be collected and will be labeled inside the petri dish, and then the petri dish will be stored in the box for the next breeding purposes. Our next activity in entomology 1 unit is insect sweeping. The purpose and the objective of this task is to collect insects. The insects that was collected will be exhibits in the Museum Flora and Fauna that were located at the MCB Tawau. So these tasks are performed around the MCB's field. This activity is done by using the sweeping net. So we managed to capture about 20 insects, and the insects that we captured is grasshopper, Gomphoceripus rufus from the order of Orthoptera, and the next dragonflies, Sympetrum phoscolombile from the order of Odonata, and then leaf-footed bugs, Leptoglossus Philopus from the order of Hemiptera, and lastly zebra long-winged butterfly, Heliconius charitonia from the order of Lepidoptera. All of the insects that we collect will be exhibits. So before that, we will do insect collections step by step. So first step is setting up. So we use insect blocks, insect pins, a piece of papers, forceps, and polystrings, where we used to set up the insects on the polystrings. So first we pin the insects by pinning their thorax into the polystring. We set up their wings, their foot, their back and front foot, and then after setting up, the insects will be labeled, and after labeled, it will be put into the oven for the purpose of drying, because we want to avoid decaying. After 3 days, the insects will be taken out from the oven and will be moved into the insect collection box and will be sent to the Flora and Fauna Museum. Last task in the entomology 1 unit is evaluating the Koko pot borer (CPB) infestation on the fruits, on the clones. So CPB does a hole in the fruits. So we can see the signs of attacks of CPBs by observing the skins of the fruits, because they will leave a hole in the skins. So first we have to peel the skins. After that, we observe the CPB's attacks. If there is a signs of hole, it means that the CPB is attacking the fruits. Okay, so after that, we will record the severity index based on the ADCI calculation. So if the attack is less, then it will be known as healthy, slight, and light. If the attack is moderate, then it will be known as moderate. If the attack is very heavy, then it will be known as heavy. After that, we will split the pot into 2 parts, because we will take the beans, and the healthy beans will be moved into plastic bags for the fermentation process. On our 3rd week, we will move into the entomology 2 units. Okay, so our first activity in the entomology 2 units is Koko clones resistant test. We took 2 fruits, 2 clones, which is KKM22 and QH37. So first, we will measure the hardness of the clones by using the penetrometer machine. So we put the clones under the machine and we'll press the machine, and the result will come out on the machine's screen. After that, we will also measure the reach of these 2 clones. So we use caliper to know the measurement of the reach between these 2 clones. The QH37 clones is more thicker and more harder compared to KKM22, which shows that QH37 clones is resistant more to the CPB attacks because the more thicker, the more harder the furrow, the more harder for the CPB to dig into the fruits. So our next activity under the entomology 2 units is cocoa beans splitting. The fruits that were taken from the Madai estates will be taken to the MCB branches. So we will separate the beans from the pods. So first, the pods will be sliced into two, and then the beans will be separate from the pods. The beans then will be put into a plastic bags, and then the plastic bags will be labeled with the field number, the sublot, and the ADSI level. So in these pictures, the fruits from the 22 field, sublot 1 is slightly attacked by the CPB. That is why we put S on the label. So all of this record will be recorded on the form. The data will be used to do more researches. During our fourth and fifth week during our practical training, we were busy helping the MCBs to prepare for the big event, which is Hari Inovasi Lembaga Koko Malaysia. This is a yearly event which in 2022 it was held in Tawau. So this event is to introduce the cocoa industries to the publics, and this activities was launched by the MCB's director, which is Dr. Ramli Haji Kasim. The activities that were held was archeries, exhibitions, fund rides, sellings, and exhibitions from other companies such as Bank Islam, Pertubuhan, Peladang Kawasan, and for this Hari Inovasi Lembaga Koko Malaysia event, the practical students were assigned to help more for the biggest activity, which is Koko Fun Ride, because the Koko Fun Ride is a cycling competition which is open to participants from outside. There are 4 categories in these rides, which is road bike, mountain bike, woman open, and folding bike. The distance of this activity is 30 kilometers. The preparation that we helps during the Koko Fun Ride is preparation for the winner's prize. We were asked to help the staff to wrap the prizes. We were also asked to sort the jerseys accordingly to their categories and their bib numbers. The bib numbers is actually different according to the categories. For example, pink bib numbers for women open category, and yellow numbers for road bike categories. So on the next days, the registration is also based on the categories. The registration process is also helped by us, and then we also give chocolates and medals for the participants.
Next, detection of cocoa pod borer infestation using sex pheromone trap. The sex pheromone trap was used to find out if cocoa pod borer Conopormopa caramerella was around. The trap was made up of a tube of pheromone, a delta trap, and glue. A pheromone trap will be hung from a tree branch by using plastic rope around 50 cm above the Theobroma cacao canopy, and it includes a synthetic pheromone lure and a sticky liner. The male CPB were captured during sticky liner as a trap, and the observation were recorded twice per week and 1 week in 1 month until the concentration of pheromone was significantly effectively decreased to controlling CPB. At the Koko Research Development Center in Tawau, they have a pheromone trap for sexual attraction. The cocoa pod borer CPB, which was lured in by the trap and sex pheromone, become immobilized on the adhesive and ultimately perish as a result. A mating disruption trial was proven to lower the amount of mating that was done by females. Next activity is insect trapping and sampling. they have divided into two traps, which is window trap and pitfall trap. Window trap, three plastic with wooden frame were tied respectively to the small bucket by using strapping plastic rope to form window trap. The traps were labeled as W1, W2, and W3. Then the traps were hung 4 feet from the ground onto a balanced and stronger branches of Koko tree inside CRDC tower or cap. Each trap hung was 2 or 3 plots away from each other. Next, dishwasher soap was poured into each of the small buckets. And the second one is a pitfall trap, which is the soil in the CRDC tower or cat was dug using machete up until the appropriate level of plastic cup. 3 plastic cup labeled as P1, P2, and P3 respectively were inserted inside the hole that has bending. Next, dishwasher soap was poured inside the cups. Okay, for the insect sampling, the insects trapped inside the window and pitfall trap were slowly transferred into a petri dish for sampling and identification by using a forceps. After sampling, the insects were then put inside a small vial with 70% ethanol before being kept in the freezer. In this insect trapping and sampling activity, the purpose of conducting it is to know population of pests that can potentially harm the cocopods. This activity managed to get only a few insects with different odor due to the short period of time. Next, disease detection for the Theobroma cacao. A sample of branches and leaves of the cocoa were taken from the field. The branches with vascular tract dieback, or we call as a VSD. The surgical blades were sterilized with the ethanol and burned on the Bunsen burner. By using the surgical blade, cut the branches into 3 pieces section and put it into the filter paper inside the petri dish. By using the surgical blade, peel the outer skin of the branches, and after that cut the branches into smaller pieces and put the smaller pieces into the agar and cover the petri dish. Label the petri dish with the dates. Seal the petri dish with the parafilm to avoid any contaminations. And after 3 days, the petri dish was observed under the microscope. We found no sign of any growing fungus on the agar yet. The common fungus that grows on the agar for cocoa is Phytophthora palmivora for black pot rot disease. Meanwhile, VSD is caused by the Basidiomycete fungus, and usually the fungus will start growing after 3 to 5 days. However, we are not able to continue until the 4th day because it was our last day at pathology unit. Next, cross-pollination for Theobroma cacao. Identify the position of cacao clones from garden sources and the position of females, which is by the plant and or male flower, male plant. Okay, for the day 1, close the flower capture from the female plant, mother plant, and the male. And for the day 2, early morning, pick the developing male flowers and keep them in tubes. And after that, label the clones. Sterilize the forceps with 70% ethanol before take the pistil male flower. After that, using forceps to take the pistil from the male flower or male plant and bring to the female flower mother plant to start the cross-pollination. And for the day 3, open the tube again, the pollinated flower for the first day inspection and also the hand pollination, which is cross-pollination as on the 2nd day. Checking pollination starting day 1 until the 1st month or until Theobroma cacao are. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a pistil. In cross-pollination, pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of another flower. With this cross-pollination, new varieties are created as a result of cross-pollination. The another activity is making patch budding, top grafting, and side grafting. First, patch budding, making double cut the bud woods. Center a plump, healthy-looking bud between the budding knife blades. Begin on the left side of the bud and with firm pressure, rotate the knife to the right. Make the double cut through the bark and approximately 1.5 inches long. Double cut the stalk, select a smooth convenient location on the stock. Make a double cut approximately 1.5 inches long by rotating a double blade budding knife around the stock. Complete preparation of stock. Connect the double cut on the right side with one perpendicular cut. This can be done with one of the budding knife blades or a single blade knife. Raise the butt on the stock with a fleet of the knife point or the tongue attached to the butt end of some budding knife. Transfer the patch from butt stick to stock. And the last one is seal the patch, wrap with plastic budding tape, we call as a Nesco film. Pull the wrap firmly and allow them to overlap slightly to seal out excessive air and water and also to prevent drying. Second is top grafting. First, we need to selecting and preparing the rootstock and find the tree that should be strong, healthy, and free of disease. After selecting the tree to graft onto, clear away brush and weeds from around the base and cut off any small branches growing from the base. Choosing and selecting the scion, and the scion is about pencil thickness. Binding the graft plastic is used to bind the scion to the rootstock so air and water can get into the graft. If too large rootstock is used, or separate pieces of plastic is needed to cover the cut section while the scion is bound. And the third is side grafting, which is selecting and preparing the scion and removing the branches which is cut off the tops of the branches to be grafted. Then cutting the scion, cut the bottom of the scion at an angle. Next, the scion was inserted into the stock. Next site visit at Madai Estate Kunak. The visit a guide by Mr. Muhammad Shakri and Mr. Mulyadi. The estate has 20 hectares which 5 fields. Every field have 4 subplots and each subplot have 30 trees. This visit are done every 2 weeks. They have 2 tasks we do at there, which is first wrapping and second one is insecticide. Wrapping the fruit are wrapped with by using the plastic when it reaches 7 cm to 10 cm, and the plastic is stapler to avoid it from fall over to the ground or fly away by the wind. Second one is insecticide. The insecticide is only when infestation is high and severe. The application is to make decision is also used to decide when to use the insecticide. The application action threshold 80 and economic threshold 80. The action taken by 80 considered by the growth of the fruit. Meanwhile, the action taken by 80 based on the presence of the CPB. Okay, for the issue. There are several issues and recommendations at the place of company while industrial training. Firstly, the issue is having internet network problem. And the second is the issue is the road to Madai Estate Kunak, which is the road to estate was very bad because of the lack of roads. Next, the lack of facilities and machinery. And the last one is there is no canteen or cafe open inside the company. So the staff has to go outside during lunch hour. Same goes to me and my friend. Since they have to go outside, some of the staff leave early and some come back later. This is a matter of work etiquette and integrity. Okay, for the recommendation, the company should provide Wi-Fi because it can help and make more easier for students and staff at MCB Tawau to do research and get information from the internet to complete assigned tasks and work in online. And the second one is about the lack of road. So we need to fix the road. Okay. The third is the company must provide enough facility, fix the broken facilities and buy new facilities for every unit so that they can perform their tasks efficiently as they can save more time. And the last one is the management should open a canteen for the staff to have their lunch inside the company to avoid unintegrated behaviors. Lastly, conclusion. In conclusion, during the practical training that takes about 7 weeks at MCB Tawau, we have learned a lot of things, such as we have learned about the cocoa plantings, management, breeding, cocoa-related product, and research about the cocoa. This knowledge can be useful for our future to find jobs. We also experienced a great opportunity where we joined in the preparation of MCB Innovation Day. In the future, the MCB Tawau can grow and become a better company if they fix all the lacking in their management. So that's all from me. Thank you.